What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, so sometime yesterday, I think it was, in one of these little hearings that they have, somebody said something, and for whatever reason, I heard it, but it didn't really grab my attention. Somebody said something about China making an unusual grab for silver, and for whatever reason, it just never hit me like it has now. So I thought that was very interesting. So I went over to Arcadia Economics, and Andrew was in there talking about the same thing. But I want to share something with you here in just a second. But before we get into that, you guys, just a reminder, if you guys are thinking about buying precious metals, now is the time. I can't stress that enough. All right. The link is in the description. I mean, if you're a first-time buyer, well, let me put it this way. If you're thinking about buying precious metals, no matter if you're first time or not, please give our friends over at Money Metals Exchange a consideration. The link is in the description. If you're a first-time buyer and you buy more than $100 worth of precious metals, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and get a free half ounce of silver. Okay, we have Pimpy's investment chat, same name as the YouTube channel. Over here we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. No politics. Bring the politics over to here, which is the hidden things in front of your eyes. Over here we do talk about politics, QAnon, NESARA, GESARA, current events, 9/11, false flag events, the whole 9 yards. Just be respectful of one another. And if you got a Twitter, come join me over here on Twitter. The links for all those are in the description. Okay, so let's get into this, because when I heard that, again, I didn't think nothing of it. And today, coming through like a champ, Arcadia Economics is interviewing Andrew Maguire, and he's talking about China buying silver. And I was thinking, wow, that's very interesting. But I was curious to hear what Andrew had to say. One of the things that when I first heard that, I thought it was interesting is because we know these countries are all buying gold, tons of gold. And for some reason, I don't know why China buying silver didn't really resonate with me right away. So then when I came across this video, it kind of hit me like a ton of bricks. Holy crap, this is kind of big. Well, that's only part of it. Andrew goes into this a little bit more extensively, and you should hear what China's doing with the silver, because it will affect your holdings. All right. And then I will leave a link, as always, to the YouTube channel, because, again, that's the right thing to do. And, I love listening to Arcadia Economics, but I'm just going to take a part of this interview, and I want you to, I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit as it's going along. But listen to what Andrew says.
Doesn't stop what's going on today, and I think that's what a lot of people.
He's talking about JP Morgan's manipulating the price.
But of course it's going to happen again. There's only one thing that, as a wholesaler, there's only one thing that will stop a price moving too low, and that is the fact that there is so much competition for bullion, and there is a physical price, and you cannot push it below that physical aggregation of bids. And that brings to mind a very interesting situation that we came across. Now, there's been a lot of talk about China, and perhaps I'll talk about China for a minute here, because I think this has not been talked about anywhere else, and it's something which I think you need to be on the wholesale of the market to even see. This is really important. There've been a lot of reports that China's off the boil. They haven't been buying much. In fact, they've been selling bullion as opposed to buying bullion. People have been redeeming it. Not true.
Did you hear what he said? Because somebody tried to show me an article saying that China is now selling their gold bullion. There wasn't this turn to precious metals. That person was trying to use that as a reason why we shouldn't buy precious metals, that it's all been blown out of proportion. I said, I don't believe that article, not at all. That's like JP Morgan telling us they were going to sell theirs. And then you turn around and find out, or not JP Morgan, but Goldman Sachs. And then you found out they bought more. So again, I don't believe it, but you hear what he's saying. He's like, look, you've been told that China is selling or redeeming their gold, but that's not true. That's a lie.
And what's actually been happening, and this is really interesting, because we've got a potential reset coming here, and it tells me that reset is actually coming a hell of a lot quicker than we thought.
Did you hear what he said? He tells you that a reset is coming, and it's coming a hell of a lot quicker than people thought.
We already knew that China has been in the doré bar business for a long time, i.e. eliminating the, getting up to a 20%, even more, discount on their doré bars, shipping them into China. This is rapidly stepped up. Now, what's happening is that the refiners in the
Listen to
traditional
this.
Western refiners here are now suddenly starved of doré bars, cannot get enough doré bars to refine. Why? China has taken a scoot, pretty much every African ounce, taking it now, and this is as of the last month or less than a month, started to move it into China, are refining it in China. And where do you think this bullion's going? This bullion is part, I am absolutely sure, part of the PBOC's attempt to or process of backing the yuan with gold.
Okay, so two things from this. One, also don't forget some of the when the COMEX was opening up to buying silver because they didn't have enough suppliers to cover their inventory of people that they owed to. Some of those markets were in China, which I find very interesting. So when I first heard China was buying up all the silver over there to refine from Africa, my first thought was, oh, this is how the COMEX recover. No, no. It's not. This is what he's saying. China told the world they're going back to the gold standard. Now, whether the United States goes or not, who knows? We know last May that the United States bought 111 tons. It was supposed to be a record. Then I just found an article that showed that instead, they also bought an additional, I think it was in July or August actually, 700 tons of gold, moved it into New York. So all these central banks and Federal Reserve are making huge moves on gold. So I have no doubt the reset is coming. We're talking about the reset on gold and silver. Now you heard what he said. Andrew said, not only is there a reset coming, but it's coming a hell of a lot quicker than people thought. So, China wants to back the yuan up with gold. And that's the reason why they're also making a huge move on silver. So they're taking the silver bars from Africa. But pay attention because he said they used to buy 20% of the market. Now listen to what he says they're doing.
And you need gold. And of course, you're talking about the payment systems being disruptive. You're talking about a rapid move here. So I think that's interesting in itself. But what is even more interesting was yesterday, as a wholesaler, when we buy bullion and we have our own sources for bullion, and obviously we don't disclose where they are because they're special. But what we do is we always come in and say, here's our minimum amount, probably here's the maximum amount we'll ever be allowed, but here's the minimum amount we want. And we commit to taking those volumes as and when they come up out of the refineries. What's happened all of a sudden yesterday, we were called and said, by the way, we're reducing your allocation by half.
Half.
Tonnage by half. So if you want 20, you get 10. That's all you're getting. Well, why? Well, you can do it because it's in the small print. As long as we commit to buying a minimum amount, we'll always get a minimum amount, and we specify the maximum amount. But to suddenly halve what we're getting, and it turns out that China is coming to these refineries and buying silver. Now that's mind-blowing to me. In all the years, I've never seen China coming into the market to buy silver. This is a really bullish development.
China is buying up the silver everywhere in Africa. And these guys is, you know what I mean? They buy, they commit to a minimum amount of tonnage of silver. And now the people contacted them yesterday, as in the 13th. Go figure, there's something about that date, the 13th. And told them that they would only be allowed to get half of what they normally get. Half of what they're committed to. And why is that? Because China is buying up the inventory. See, you got to understand that JP Morgan's biggest customer is China. And I have no doubt that China is telling JP Morgan to continue to manipulate even after the fine, even after all the crap they just went through. The courts are holding the RICO charges on JP Morgan for the time being, telling them they have to behave themselves. But then they turn around and spoofed again. I believe it was today or yesterday. Yesterday, I think it was. They spoofed again. So I told you the fines aren't enough. You got to take away their license. People at the highest level have to go to jail. You have to take away their assets, in my opinion, because they should be held so that you can pay back those individuals that were robbed. But they're doing this on behalf of China. So now China is not only running around trying to buy up all the gold. As a matter of fact, they stopped, like this guy said, and then we were told that they're selling their inventory, which is a lie. They just stopped making a rush on the move for gold, but now they moved into silver. So this is telling the world that China's not messing around. The reset is going to be here a lot quicker than people think, and China is going to go back into currency up with precious metals, which is great for us, okay?
And certainly, it's going to really shake things up as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that certainly would be pretty interesting in a market where we've seen the SLV and trust editions, we've seen the COMEX deliveries, and along those lines, I know you were there at Silverfest. I appreciate you were there with us in spirit. We couldn't quite get you logged in, although something I know you wanted to touch on, if SLV is really adding the metal that they say they are, and any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Chris, and a lot of discussion around this subject. A lot of people get heated about it as well. Some people defend it vigorously, and simply because they're invested in it, probably. But really, so all I can do is give you what we see from a wholesale market and vaulting providers' view. And although the same is true for the gold ETFs, it's so much easier to look at silver because it's so easy to read these footprints because they're very small. So
here, I won't go no further on that. So basically what he's getting into is SLV is claiming to be moving these large amounts of silver. They're not sure how that's possible because you can actually monitor it a lot easier than you can gold. And there's something going on because the amount that they're claiming to move in one day is impossible to do so. So the point being, both the comics and a lot of these other places that deal with precious metals, there's something going on that's not being talked about. There's a lot of beliefs that the amount of precious metals is way worse and way scarce than they're letting on it to be. You have China with the BRICS nations buying gold. They've been doing it for a long time. They come out and told the world that they actually had 20,000 tons of gold. Whether that's true or not, who knows? But that would put them way ahead of the ball game. And that would make them, the superpower. They would have the money to do so. So I have no idea how much the United States has. It has not been audited in a long time. There's a lot of rumors that the gold is gone. We know once Trump got into office, he's been on a tear. I told you guys when Trump first got into office, one of the things he did is I believe he had 5 warehouses built in Texas. And they were specifically built to be secure locations to store precious metals. And that's when he first got into office. All right? How much is there? I don't know. Supposedly, there's a treaty or a law that says you're supposed to report the truth about the amount of gold and silver that you have whenever countries make move on it, supposedly. But here's the thing. China's been lying to the world, as usual. Is anybody surprised? I mean, China lied about the Rona. Could they be lying about the inventory? Could they have been lying about the inventory? I don't know. But is the United States now doing the same thing? Who knows? The point being, the scarcity of precious metals. We can't believe what you see on the market. The spot market price is obviously so drastically undervalued, it's ridiculous. You're never going to see precious metals this low again once they take off. So with China now, and here they said they bought a ton of silver, not within the past month. He's saying within this month of October, within the last couple of weeks. They just made these huge moves on precious silver. So I wanted to share this with you guys because I keep telling you, look, we are in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Something's going to happen here very soon. When, I have no idea. But even he said he knows the reset's coming, but he said after everything that he's learned, the reset is going to be here a hell of a lot faster than people had thought. All right, you guys, so keep your head up. It's coming. I'm still paying attention to everything that is out there. I told you I heard about the China thing, and so I was really pumped to see Chris here on Arcadia Economics, which I love his videos, by the way, and I'm going to leave a link to this YouTube, talking to Andrew, and Andrew was talking about this. I was like, oh, man, this is unbelievable. So I wanted to share with you guys because I want you to feel good about your investments, all right? Hang tight. We're still on Bodacious. 6.5 and 8-second ride, hand on the rope, one hand behind us, spurs up, we're going good, all right, you guys? So hang tight, man, hang tight. We're going to get there a lot sooner than you guys think. All right, if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later.